everyone, and welcome to Talking Insights here in our congress at in the Esomar Congress here in Amsterdam. I'm sitting here with Mahmoud Yassin. Hello, Mahmoud.
Hi,
Welcome.
nice to meet you. Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to have you here. Mahmoud works for Booking. It's a company that barely needs a presentation, but I would like to invite you to say a few words about of course, about Booking, what you do, which area you work on, and what is your specialization there.
Yeah, so Booking.com, of course, as you said, it's quite global brand. We are active in the travel industry, and our mission is to let everyone explore the world. So, and everyone for us means literally everyone, with all that inclusiveness that we can do for everyone. Different gender, different religious, doesn't matter, and ages, and literally the full inclusiveness side of it. And we want to empower people to travel because we believe in travel and what it brings to your mentality, the mental health, and also what it brings to your mood, and let you explore and get to know few places, know history, how. So that's all part of our mission.
Yeah.
And I've been with the company for 1 year now. My role is a senior manager in the data space, data and analytics and AI, and it's quite fun company to work for, to be honest.
Okay. Are you specialized in a specific segment or sector, or perhaps a geographical area, or is it like global data?
So I work here in the HQ, global HQ of Booking, and of course we cover every aspect. And I'm more in the analytical side. So what to do with data that we gather from our travelers and our partners, because we are a two-sided marketplace. We have partners who offer places for people to stay, like hotels, homes, etc. And we have on the other side the travelers who are looking for that service, and we are in the middle.
Okay.
So we support the global scale in Amsterdam, here from Amsterdam, and this is our global HQ and also Booking.com.
Okay. And have you? I mean, you must have observed probably quite different patterns on how people understand traveling and how, or also perhaps the habit of traveling. Maybe some countries, maybe more, perhaps more internationally oriented. Some others are a bit more domestic. How?
That's definitely a part of our insights, because we the way we succeed is by understanding our travelers and the behaviors around, let's say, certain areas. So we do trend analysis to understand, per quarter, what are the hottest, let's say, countries to visit, for what purpose. We try to understand the customer needs. We analyze huge amount of data, just around 70 terabytes a day of data that gets stored in our systems and need to be analyzed for the greater good of our customer, to understand their needs, build specialized recommendations, work in refining the stuff that they get to show in order to match their style. So if you are like a solo traveler, is different than if you are like a family traveler. So we would like to show you the stuff that relevant to you and make your experience really customized. And in order to do that, we set on tons of information that need to be analyzed and figuring out the best possible way to use it. And that was also part of our discussion, the session I gave today in the conference.
Exactly, and I wanted to get to that as well, because you just presented a few minutes ago.
Yes.
So it was a very interesting a session. If I would like to invite you also to summarize what the session was about, which areas you covered, perhaps without spoiling all the beans, but just to so that our listeners and our viewers understand a bit what you covered.
Happy to do so. So the session was about a recent product that we recently launched for beta testing for quite some users, and it's called the AI Trip Planner. So it is our recent innovation that combines the powerness of AI and also the experience of booking, and blend them together to offer a really customized and intuitive way, let's say a different way, to explore our products and find your dream destination, coping with the new trends of ChatGPT and generative AI and what it brings.
Okay, I guess at some point, any help is welcome when you're dealing with 73 terabytes of data per day. So is this a program mainly? you just presented two different types of, say, customers or audiences within Booking. On the one hand, is all the accommodations that need to be listed, and on the other side, you have, of course, the travelers. Is this tool aimed at both of them, or mostly one, or how?
As of now, it's for the travelers. So basically, how it works: if you are entitled in the beta group to see that option, then it is basically you chat with us, let's say through the mobile app. Hey, I'd like to go to a destination in the next month, and then the chat GPT kind of thing will tell you, okay, where do you want to go? Then, okay, I need something hot, and or maybe I don't know, somewhere sunny. Okay, where in the world? Then you start like a natural conversation.
Okay.
Then you say, okay, but okay, are you traveling alone? Then it will say, no, I'm traveling with family or with kids. Based on all the parameters that you get, we refine or narrow down the search as if you're doing it normally through our website, but then in a different way and an easy way. You can turn on your your microphone, and just speak. Instead of typing and dealing with all the filter stuff, and then the module will rectify your answers and then brings in within the same session, within the same application, the recommendations for you with the price and everything. And you are empowered to change it. Oh yeah, this is too much. This is too expensive. This is I need maybe less crowded place. And then we combine the powerness of a generative AI with our Booking tailored AI together to blend together, and then we bring you like a seamless experience, and then at the end you can do pretty much everything through this kind of product all the way till booking. So it's really, we see it as a new way of dealing with or finding your dream destination, and it's quite interesting also to see how smart is it. And for example, at the end, if you manage to find your dream destination, you can also tell, hey, give me a program for the 3 days I'm in, and then it will tell you per day the activities that you can do. And I've tested myself, and I've asked. I live in Amsterdam, so I know a little bit of the Netherlands, and it gives quite great recommendations on the places, even with what to do with timings and everything. So it's quite impressive.
That actually is quite interesting, because perhaps the less attached listener or viewer that may not have a very clear view of exactly what Booking does may simplify the offer as to, well, just finding accommodation. But what you're really talking about is going way beyond. It's offering a full package, a whole plan, places to visit. I guess it will be on the user to decide whether traveling to that destination, if it makes sense or not, of course.
Definitely.
But what you're describing is a combination of services that goes way beyond simply looking for accommodation.
Exactly. So let's agree that travel sometimes can be complex, right? So yeah, you have the big dream to go, to Barcelona in Spain and explore it, but then some of the travelers, I think most of them also, they don't know what to do unless they go there or do like a research for a week or two or even more. And what these kind of emerging technology brings is like, it really saves times and cuts it short, right? So tell me what to do in Barcelona for one day, and then not just that, but you can tailor it for, a kids activity, or maybe for a romance escape, or maybe for an adventurous one. And then based on that, you get like 5-6 places to recommend, and even later you can get through Booking as well, like option to buy those tickets and everything, because currently we do not just accommodation. Currently we offer tickets for travel, for attractions, for taxis and everything. And this is our real goal. We want to give that end-to-end travel experience, not just accommodation, the taxi that takes you from the airport to the place, and then the other way around, from the hotel or accommodation to the attraction, the tickets of the attraction, everything is included in one package. But this is, let's say, our goal for the upcoming years, to offer that seamless experience. So you take away all the hassle of finding the right application to book a taxi, I don't know, in Istanbul, or go to somewhere else to find where to book tickets, and really make it at your fingertip. And you just, yes, done, and then you have everything arranged. With that comes also complexity, because
Absolutely.
everything is connected. So what happens if you got a delay in your flight? Right?
Exactly.
So what happens to your accommodation? What happens to your taxi? What happens to the ticket? So we try to deal with all that under the hood.
Yeah.
but then try to offer you that seamless experience.
Exactly. That's at the end of the day, exactly the experience needs to be simplified despite
Yeah,
the complexity that goes underneath.
that's you cannot bother the audience with all of this, right?
Exactly. I think it's well. I mean, it's quite interesting because I think there is a level of stress even that
Yeah.
is attached to all these
True.
decisions,
Yeah.
going to a different country, like a different language, a different all this
Yeah,
all
I
these
think we've all
elements.
have experienced that one way or another. So,
Exactly.
especially if you go into, let's say, non-comfort, let's say, country where you live in, or you know everything on it, that's always what comes with travel, and we try to take the pain away as much as we can.
Exactly. Um, in order to do this, to aggregate all these services, I mean, as you were saying, like you gather quite a wealth of data. How is the AI created and informed? Are
Yeah.
you using or are you leveraging mostly internal data, or how do you combine?
Yeah. So AI within booking is one of the most crucial areas, and actually it is embedded in every product team that we have. And seeing, let's say, if I'm zoom out a little bit now, after 1 year of booking, it's really amazing what the amount of AI development that we have, the machine learning engineers that we have. So really, outstanding. And we try always to do the best for our customers, both travelers and partners as well. And back to your question, so definitely it is a combination of data. So we have a lot of data around what people search. Right? We get, more than 100 million visits, a month. So that's a lot of data. And then what they do, where they search, where they drop, all these stuff need to be analyzed, what they have seen, what they have clicked. So all the behavioral side of the data need to be collected and analyzed, and not just analyzed, but also grouped in a way and segmented, because you're talking about
Yeah.
huge amount of data. And that data definitely empowers our internal machine learning models and our AI innovations, plus definitely the external data. So we analyze the weather data and its effect on the travels, right? Because you definitely need to know
All right.
if there
Is
is.
that embedded also in the offer? If I tell you like I want to go to a sunny place, but there is a storm coming to Greece, you won't recommend Greece.
Yeah, so that's maybe not in the AI trip planner per se. I can also double check that, but in general, yes. So there should be have, like I said, recommendations on the target destination, but also for the analytical needs, right?
Yeah.
That's really nice from looking forward, but also you need to look backwards also to see the trends. We need to understand how people like to build a map of the travel. That's not easy, right? So per quarter, per season, where people travel and where they go and where they don't go, and is there like some hidden gems, as we say, in some places that people don't know
Yes.
about, and how can we also give it fair chance? Because when you travel, you're not just enjoying yourself, but you're also benefiting the destination, right? The economy, helping
Absolutely.
people, so from also psychological point of view and other angle, travel helps countries. There are tons of countries that depend totally on travel, and to feed their kids and to go to school, etc. So yeah, we also have that social boundaries that we need also to adapt and in what we offer, not just the famous stuff, but that also needs to be balanced.
Exactly. I think that is a really interesting consideration. The fact that I, I I guess I can imagine that it is really easy to offer the highlights,
Yeah.
right? Go to Paris, go to the Eiffel Tower. Sure, understood.
Yeah.
But and that some travelers demand the famous off the beaten track,
Yeah.
right? Like all these other aspects from traveling. I would be one of those, for example,
All the same.
but that as a company you also recognize that how this helps the local economy, that it is interesting, it is part of the perhaps the motto or the goal of the company itself to add these places and to invite people to discover more.
Yeah, so that's also our social and moral campus, right? So it's not like, as you said, just the famous and the top stuff that we show, right? And we aim to have the tailored experience based on your research, your history, etc. But also give a fair chance for everyone to see what's there and what's in the listing. Though it's complex, of course, especially if you have a huge amount of listings. But the art comes when which parts to be presented when for whom. That's the equation that
Okay.
we try our best to make it as relevant as possible.
Yeah, yeah. How is the how at the end of the day, the insights that from this AI model that you have been describing, I can imagine that also provides insights that can be used internally.
Definitely.
How does that guide the
Yeah.
decision making within
So
the
for
company?
sure, definitely, we don't just blindly use, let's say, OpenAI under the hood. So we have our areas where we rectify. We need to understand what people ask and in what kind of form, for what kind of purpose. And so that's tons of analytics that we need also, that we're already actually working upon them to analyze the demands and also feed it to our normal, streamline of analytics that we already have that does that. So it's for us a new way,
Yeah,
a new, entrance to the main
exactly.
home, right? But then through that method. So it has to hook up to all the analytics that we currently existing and all the AIs that we do, and also the way to understand the customer,
Yeah,
the traveler behaviors as well. So it's all integrated, and that's the beauty of the solution. That's not just like in an isolation of what we
yes,
do. And if you also get a chance to experience it, it's really a complete experience in one go. So it's not like, you have a hyperlink, you click to it, and then takes you to another page, and then you forget what was the search. No,
sure.
it's all consistent. One session, even if go back to the first option, then it will roll back, and so it's really aware of the
Okay.
conversation, and that cannot be achieved just by having this in isolation. It has
Yeah.
to hook up to the existing one. So definitely, we integrate that data together,
Okay.
and then use it for the analytics purpose.
Perfect. And for when did you roll out this application?
The date precisely, I think it was released close to 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. But we also piloting with it because you need to, see how the customers will react, how it will
Okay.
be useful or not. So it's currently available for the US based customers. So in the States, if it
Perfect.
happens that you have, and then you can
Yeah.
try it out, and soon, based on getting to inside and analyze the data and see how it was
Yeah.
useful, and did
Yeah.
it lead to bookings, or it was just like chatting, or
Interesting.
we need to measure all this stuff before also taking a decision to open it up. Plus, it is, of course, requires a huge computational power
Yes,
as well
absolutely.
if you want to open it at booking.com scale
Yeah.
worldwide.
This is interesting, and when hearing that it has been trialed in the US first, one of the questions that comes to my mind is the representativity that this may have. If
Yeah.
you're training a model in the US, you're basically feeding it US taste.
Yeah.
That could be very different from taste that you could find in the Philippines.
True.
Or
Yeah.
any other country
Yeah.
that may have vastly different understanding of
Yeah.
what is traveling and how to use traveling or what they may want to see.
Yeah, I think that's very much true, and a very smart observation, because travel is not just constant, right? It differs from culture to culture. It differs from nation to a different. But we offer it in the States. United States is the biggest travel market, country wise. So it's also not that small. So it gives us also some KPIs around the scalability of the product at a certain point of time, and definitely we put that into consideration, dimension of the country that
Yeah.
we are rolling it out and how it affects the behavior. But of course, to have more inclusive, let's say, look, definitely other countries and other behaviors need to be kept into consideration.
Yeah, yeah. No, that actually is super interesting, and I can imagine how it is an application or a program that it was a huge undertaking. I can imagine that,
Yeah.
and that you have probably just uncovered the tip of the
Yeah,
iceberg.
yeah. There's always tons of potential, right? So we keep innovating. We keep through our team
Yeah.
figuring out new products, new areas to explore, even new trends, and what actually people are trying to do,
Yeah.
or trying to travel, trying to escape from, going where. These are really big questions, and also highly personalized. So you cannot just use wildcards that everyone in the Netherlands, for example, when they're looking for a getaway, they go to Den Haag for Scheveningen, like beach. That's
Exactly.
this
That
is
is
like
way too simplistic.
way too simplistic, right? So, and as I said in the beginning, the art is to figure out that balance, to whom, for what, and where. That kind of combination, what makes it truly personal. And I think we are quite unique in it, but definitely there's always room for improvement, and adding more dimensions to the data,
Of
or
course.
new ways, pursuing new opportunities. That's what keeps us also busy all day.
No, that is interesting. I'm interested in knowing what what are the next steps of this application?
Yeah, so of course, next step is evaluation, right? So now we have built the hardware, built all the check and balances, the procedures, everything is there. It's available. Now we are testing it with a huge audience, as we spoke in the States. Then we need to have a evaluation of what we offered. We have some solid KPIs that we need to run to measure the success of this kind of experiment, and then evaluate and see from there what's the next best step.
Perfect.
That's all what I can say because we don't know yet
Of
the
course.
results. So,
Of course, yeah.
but it's quite at least for the people who are in the States or even traveling to the States, just give it a go. It's quite amazing.
Okay, fantastic. I was also thinking that really well, working with so much data, having solid models that can see through all this data, that can understand the travelers. Your comment on how wrong it is, for example, to understand the Dutch traveler as the one that may go to the beach and so on, is like this, right?
Yeah.
Like the very simplistic models. What AI eventually allows, right, is to create a segmentation that is far more complex than what a human could do by himself, right? And I'm interested in knowing whether you envision perhaps this becoming an exercise for what I just wrote, like hyper-segmentation, in which you can eventually kind of categorize individuals, like individually. It's like, okay, I just understand what you want to know, and the model can run to such a level that you can basically tailor things like personally, in almost.
Yeah, I think that's going to be cool, right? If you reach that level, of course, it depends on the amount of users in that case, right? I mean, to really nail it down to a personal, flavor, that's also something that can be a bit challenging. At least there are clusters, right? In the clusters, you try as much as you can to make it relevant and small enough and solid enough to fit certain personas. I think personally, yeah. So that's not working. I feel like with the help of AI, definitely you can unlock new kind of segmentations for sure, because you are sitting on tons of information and there's always opportunities for that. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, one day also you can reach to that
Exactly.
truly personal, like per person one. Yeah, but that also has some consequences on compute power that you need and the depth of algorithm. And if you want to do that for huge people that hits your product almost every second, there's a bit of a technical challenge.
Absolutely. And also what you're referring to is like that would be a model that runs on its own, and at the end of the day, what you're describing is a model that it still is a model. It still needs the human element, a human to be checking it and making sure that it runs.
Today in the session as well, I gave an idea about the types of AI. So that I think what you're talking about is like really the last level 3 of AI, which is like superhuman, like exceeds superhuman intelligence, and also decides on its own based on the current, let's say, data that has been collected, but also the behaviors and a bunch of other things without even a necessity to feed it to or let's say give it like a direction. But that's you never know, right? This area has been a roller coaster, right? So
exactly
we'll see how far, and as long as we keep in mind the respecting customer data, privacy regulations, respecting everyone's privacy, and that's also a hard balance, because this is at Booking.com is in the core. So you cannot just go wild and expose everything.
Of course,
there's amount of information that can be shared, non-shared, and we have in our legal and we have our privacy team very active in taking care of the data of our customers, and then how to deal with it in the best possible way without any violations or anything.
Exactly. So, that is that is interesting, and also at Esomar, like we have also our own guidelines, our own the code of conduct, of course, but the discussion of how to ensure anonymity, how to work with the data, how to exactly, is a constant one, and it is just becoming more and more challenging.
It's amazing. I think we already active members in the responsive AI initiatives, and there's a new act actually that's being populated with the EU also to talk about the ethics and the ethical side on what to use and where not to use AI. So that's also going to shape a lot of the potentials
Yeah.
of what companies
Absolutely.
can use with it.
Exactly. Wow. It is definitely a conversation starter
Yeah.
too. It's
Yeah.
we have just
Let's see next
scratched the
year. Yeah,
surface, as we
exactly.
say,
Yeah.
right?
Next year, maybe we'll have another discussion. We'll see how far this
Exactly.
evolves. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Well, so thank you so much,
Thanks a
Mahmoud,
lot.
for being here. It's been a really interesting discussion, and I know we could
Yeah.
just continue as like the more we talk about it, the more we
Yeah.
uncover, right? Like these layers
Yeah.
of
I
this
hope
of
this is
this.
just like, scratching, as you said, and also give an idea of what's going on. But definitely the devil is in the details, right? So,
Definitely,
yeah.
exactly,
Thanks a
exactly.
lot.
No, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being here, and well, thank you as well for listening to us or for watching us, depending which mode you have chosen. This has been Talking Insights. We'll continue at Esomar's Congress here in Amsterdam, and we will continue to bring you more interesting content. Thank you very much.